Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Giri Varadari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krišna Krišna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krišna. Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krišna Krišna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. Text 57. Ya sarvatra nabhisnehas tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya pragya pratishtita. Ya sarvatra nabhisnehas. Tatat prapya shubham. Nabhinandati nadveshti. Tasya pragya pratishtita. Ya sarvatra nibhinehas. Tatat prapya shubham. Nabheshi. Tasi pragya pratishtita. Ya sarvatra nabhisnehas. Tatat prapya shubham. Vinandati tasishti. Taya pragya pratishtita. Yasarvatra nabhisnehas. Tatat prapya shubham. Abhinandati nadveshti. Tasya pragya pratishtita. Yasarvatra nabhisnehas. Tatat prapya shubham. Abhinandati nadveshti. Tasya pragya pratishtita. Ya sarvatra nabhisnehas. Tata shubham. Nabhinandati nadveshti. Tasya pragya pratishtita. Ya one who. Sarvatra. Everywhere. Anabhisneha. Without affection. Tat. That. Tat. That. Prapya. Achieving. Shubha. Good. Ashubham. Evil. Na. Never. Abhinandati. Praises. Na. Never. Dveshti. Envies. Tasya. His. Pragya. Perfect knowledge. Pratishtita. Fixed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Purport. There is always some upheaval in the material world, which may be good or evil. One who is not agitated by such material upheavals, who is unaffected by good and evil, is to be understood to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically samadhi. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shimate Pralatananda Swamiti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Shatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord Krishna says the same thing over and over again in different ways. in many verses he speaks about tolerance. And the idea is that if we are spirit soul, that we are not so concerned about what happens to the body and mind. Of course, this body and mind, they are tools for Krishna, for the soul, but sometimes good things happen to the body, and sometimes bad things happen. And sometimes you can change it, and sometimes you cannot. So someone who is spiritually advanced is not so much concerned. Oh, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day. And this idea is repeated in many ways. There's a few verses in this chapter which speak about tolerance. First, there's after Krishna tells him that he is a spirit soul, he says, Matras Parshastu Daunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Painonitas Tam Stitik Shasva Parata. Says, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress. Same idea as here, happiness and distress. And their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. Winter and summer, they just come and go. Sometimes there's winter and sometimes there's summer. And in winter, if there's cold, you don't say. Of course you say, but if you ask why is it cold, because it's winter. So, and then summer comes and so on. They arise from sense perception. It's a very topic which is repeated again and again. One must learn to tolerate them. So this idea of tolerance is there. In the verse before this, because is this idea that Krishna says, one who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Also, happiness, there's this example with from Mahabharata, what's the effects of being too happy. You know, there's this episode with Jayadratha, I think. Jayadratha. Okay, I'll skip it. No, there's this episode when Arjuna had to kill this. I think Jayadratha was. He after Abhimanyu was killed, he took this vow that he will kill the Jayadratha. So he took this vow that he will kill him the next day. And of course, all the Kauravas were making put Jayadratha in the back and everyone in front. And Arjuna had to. It was quite a march to go through all these armies, and he was also fighting when some parts they didn't have celestial weapons. He didn't have to. He had to use normal weapons. So the whole day he had to go through the whole army to kill Jayadratha, who was in the back, of course, because the Kauravas knew about his vow. And at some point there's Krishna is somehow covering the sun. There's sunset. And then the Kauravas are like, Jai! Victory! And too early. So the point is, if you're too happy, then you become neglectful of your duty. And you're like, oh yeah, boom! What's happening? So anyway, so even happiness is to be too happy from a material perspective is not so good. And there's, of course, the same idea is repeated in the same chapter at the end of second chapter. Apurya manamachala pratishtam samudram apa pravishanti tadvat kama yad pravishanti sarvesa shanti mapnuti kama kami. Krishna says, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to. satisfy those desires. So what the most important thing to tolerate is our mind. And the most important thing to tolerate is our desires. This is revolutionary. I remember first time I read this Bhagavad Gita, and this part, this verse was like striking me, because I was trying so much to, before Krishna consciousness, to satisfy all desires, to be happy. It was like, and this was like by itself understood in the Western society that you have to satisfy all your desires and you'll be happy. And then you read the Bhagavad Gita and they say, no, if you don't satisfy your desires, you'll be happy. And I'm like, what? But it made sense because, like I was trying so hard. So Krishna gives the same idea. Don't worry about so much about your desires, okay? Just let them go. So, same idea. And there's also in this 5th chapter, there's this verse. Probably Devadeva Prabhu knows it because he heard it millions of times. Yehi sam sparshaya boga vedukayonaya evates adyanta vanta kaunteya nateshura mate Buddha. You know it, yeah? Anyway, some devotee in Romania liked this verse. So this verse says that an intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. Same idea, that happiness which is achieved by contact with the material senses is not so good. It says, O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So someone wise is not searching for external happiness, for some material happiness. Because it's not real happiness also, and it's also very short. This verse says that it has a beginning and an end. And how it ends up, it always ends up bad. Like Maharaj is saying, what starts by courting ends up in court. So material happiness always starts like that. There's always some nice things in the beginning, and then at the end, horrible. And then you can think, okay, you have to tolerate this, you have to tolerate this, you have to tolerate this, you have to tolerate this. So many things to tolerate. And what's the solution? How can you be able to tolerate all these kind of things? And there's one interesting fact, is that Srila Prabhupada adds in the purports things that are not in the text. Many times he does this. It's interesting, like for example, you have first verse of the Bhagavad Gita. You have Dhritarashtra says, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So that's the text. It's just a question by Dhritarashtra. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita is the perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So from the first purport, Srila Prabhupada says, okay, Lord Krishna is God. It's like, and then people read this and they're like, where is this in the text? Because it's not. And it's actually not, at least not in this text. But the point is that many people try to get Krishna out of Bhagavad Gita. So what Srila Prabhupada is doing is he's just putting Krishna back into Bhagavad Gita, like everywhere. Oh, by the way, Krishna is God. Okay. So yeah, that's why sometimes people, when they read the Bhagavad Gita, they say, oh, I like Bhagavad Gita, because without the purports, without Srila Prabhupada's purports, they can interpret Bhagavad Gita as they want, you know. Of course, the message but Srila Prabhupada just puts the message, Krishna's message, back into Bhagavad Gita, and he puts it on every page, you know, like okay, this is it. And so here in this purport, the text is actually about that you have to be tolerant. It doesn't say anything about being Krishna conscious. But actually Krishna says in the verses before, and he says in the verses after, that the way to be tolerant is to be Krishna conscious. So before he says in text 55, Krishna talks about finding satisfaction in the self. He doesn't say, okay, you just have to be tolerant. He says you have to find some higher happiness. And of course, there's this famous text 59, which will follow, where Lord Krishna says that, yes, you can try to control your senses, but it's not going to work. But you can, but if you have higher happiness, if you engage in Krishna consciousness and you find this higher happiness, then you can control the senses. That's the only way. And then you can say, okay, but what's the problem? Where's the problem? You know, like, why so much against this sense gratification? People nowadays say, okay, we want to be also enjoy a bit, have some fun. I didn't read the Yoga Sutra directly, I just read some commentaries, and it said there's one example that if you're with a boat on a river, and then you do 1 hour you row in one direction, and the next 23 hours you row in the opposite direction, then you're probably not going to reach the shore you want to. So this is the same, that spiritual life is not meant to be 1 hour per day, you chant Hare Krishna, and the rest of the time you can do whatever you want. Or nowadays people do meditation or whatever they do. No, spiritual practice is meant to be 24/7. Because as soon as you don't row in the proper direction, the current will take you in the other direction. And the same idea is said also in this chapter, in second chapter, it's text 44. Bhoggaishvarya prasaktanam taya pahrita chasasam vasayatmika buddhir samadau navidyate. It says, in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, the resolute determination for devotional service to Krishna does not take place. When I read this text, I always find it funny how it's said. It's like it doesn't take place. So in my mind, it's like you're already full and there's no more place. Okay, you want to put Krishna consciousness, it's full. You know, like they have this. I think this Zen. They have these anecdotes, and then they have this disciple going to the spiritual master, and he's asking him to teach him something, and the spiritual master says, yes, we'll do later. But do you want some tea? I said, yeah, sure, give me some tea. In Zen, they always have to drink tea. I don't know why. And then he has this teacup, and he's pouring tea, and he's pouring, and the cup is full, and it's spilling all over, and he's like, oh, but it's full. It's, yes, like you. If you already have, your mind is full of things, then how can you introduce things? How can you learn anything? So similarly, if our consciousness is full of desires for sense gratification, there's no place for Krishna consciousness there, because we're full. So why would be interested? So the point is that we need to develop this one-pointed determination. And the sense gratification destroys this determination. Then we are just running around in circles. This verse before says, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha korona bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasainam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. So we should be like that we have only one idea. And this is said, O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Most of the people, not the devotees, sorry. Most of the people, they have so many plans. This, that, this. Sometimes also it's aspiring devotees, they are like, yes, sure, Krishna is very important, now I have this plan, and when I finish. So the point is that we have a perfect process, but we have to follow it, and it's very hard to follow it. It's a very simple process, as Maharaj says. It's very simple, very hard to follow. So I have this sadhana bhakti, the sandwich, the transcendental sandwich. You wake up in the morning, you have morning program, you do your job, you chant your rounds, there's Srimad Bhagavatam class, you do some service, like evening program, and then evening program which includes some Bhagavad Gita class. So this is, in the beginning, this is sadhana bhakti, and in the beginning this is called Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. You don't feel like doing it. But there's this verse in Nectar of Instruction which says that the holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Lord Krishna are all transcendental sweet, like sugar candy. But because we are influenced by the jaundice of avidya, we don't feel it sweet. So also these morning and evening programs, they are sweet. But sometimes we don't feel it like it's sweet. And what's the solution? His Holiness Bhakti Vaibhava Maharaj was saying at some point, enthusiastic, non-enthusiastic, you have to do it. Or as it was quoted before, this devotee who told Srila Prabhupada that he doesn't feel like paying dandavats. And Srila Prabhupada said, you don't feel, no problem, you do it and then you feel. So sadhana bhakti is also like that. It starts with Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. You don't feel like doing it. And but it doesn't mean that it's unnatural. It is natural. It's natural to love Krishna. It's natural to engage in this service. But it's unnatural for the mind. Many times I meet these people and they say, oh, but I am not interested. And sometimes I tell them that, no, but the soul is interested. The mind is not interested. Of course the mind is not interested, but the soul is interested. Usually it doesn't work, but still I try. But it's true, because the soul, they want the book. Everyone wants the books. Everyone wants Srila Prabhupada's books. The soul goes there and they're like, please take this book. And the mind is like, no, why? Another book. But the soul wants the book. And it's similar with many, many things we do. The soul wants to chant. The soul really wants to do sadhana bhakti. But the mind, but the point is that if you do it for some time, and fortunately it doesn't take so much time, it doesn't take millions of years until you have some taste. If you do it for some time, then you will get some taste. And if you have some taste, then you will try to do more. Because it's no longer, it's still sadhana bhakti, but you like it. It's fun. It's nice. Like sometimes we have ecstatic kirtans here. Sometimes you come, okay, I have to go for the evening program. And sometimes it's like, ecstatic kirtan, and everybody's dancing, and it's nice. And we're like, yeah, it's nice, okay. I could come tomorrow also. So it's like that. First, there's next level. Sometimes you do it out of duty, and sometimes you do it because it's fun. So the point is that sadhana bhakti is like that. We have to do it. And if we do it, even if you don't feel, then you get the taste. And if you get the taste, then you will want to increase. Like you'll think, wow, okay, what else can I do? Maybe I can also read more. Maybe, and then, and it actually is like that you're thinking, okay, how to do something more, okay, maybe I wake up at 4:20, maybe tomorrow I want to wake up 4:10. Something, and then you think, because if you have taste, then you think, oh, let's do some more, let's get some more, like usually. So that's the process. They say that when everything fails, just try to follow the process. Like because we're very complicated. We try so many things. We chant Hare Krišna, and we don't meditate on what it means, or we chant these songs in the morning, and we don't meditate on and then we try many things. You try, okay, maybe if we bang the mridanga harder, or maybe if we do that, or maybe if you have these whompers also, boom, boom, then maybe it will feel. And then you try all these things, and then you see it doesn't work, and then you think, let's give it a try. Maybe if you follow the process, maybe it works. And then you follow the process and it even works. And also there's one thing which helps us follow the process, which is studying these books, reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why there's so much classes in the morning, in the evening, and devotees also can read during the day. Because this reading, this philosophy is important, because it can strengthen our faith, our shraddha, and then we understand. Oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, so then you try to follow. You can follow the process. So it's important to read the books. And Srila Prabhupada was saying that devotees should know these books like a lawyer knows the law codes. When the lawyer goes to court, he's like quoting this law in 1957, this case of John versus Jane, this happened and that happened and this and that, and so he knows very well. So Srila Prabhupada also said sometimes that devotees should be like that. And there was this Sankirtan meeting on Monday, and Maharaj was telling how he was distributing Bhagavad Gita by quoting from the Bhagavad Gita. I was thinking, wow, but that's something, And I was thinking, I would like to do that, like that you go on the street and you meet some person and they say something and say, oh, okay, you want to read, maybe you should read this verse from Bhagavad Gita. This answers your question. So I was like, wow, it's nice. So that's I mean, we started before. We have this when we go for Sankirtan. We have this program. So we're thinking how to know Bhagavad Gita better. So we do this chat when we go in to Sankirtan, because sometimes you can say you don't have time. But I mean, we drive half an hour, 1 hour, and half an hour, 1 hour back. So we take tablet and we read one chapter from Bhagavad Gita. So we read one chapter and then we learn one verse. And then we follow this method. First you learn it, and then you read, you learn the verse like this. And then every second word. and then every second word from the second word, and then you go from the back, and then you go from the back every second word, and you do it a few times, and then we have also the bonus. The bonus is we have this track program. So if you're on a highway, each time you pass a truck, you have to say the verse. I mean, you're there, you have time. So you go past the truck. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmani Gravi Astini, Shunichai Vash Papa Kecha, Vandita Samadarshinaha. And then you go 500 meters more, another truck. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmani Gravi Astini. Anyway, and it's quite interesting. I started to like Bhagavad Gita, and sometimes it works, even externally. We were going through some villages. It was not another day. It was no highway in that area, and we were going, and they had these traffic signs, like a speed limit, like that. They had a 50 limit, and if you are above, below, they will above. If you have too high speed, they will be like a red hand like this, and then you have a green. If you're below the limit, then you have a green, like yes, Jai. So we were learning this verse, this formula of peace. Bhoktaram yagata pasa sarva loka baheshvaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatmamam shanti richati. And we were, this sign was like, the guy in front, he was like, yeah, it's bad. And we were telling this verse, and they were like, Jai, green. No, anyway, it can help to, we were just joking, because of course we had legal speed also. It also helped. But we were just joking that reading from Bhagavad Gita also helps these traffic signs. They are also happy. Formula of peace works with them also. So anyway, there's so many verses in Bhagavad Gita that will teach you about tolerance, and if you read it, it's probably at least, I don't know, there's quite a lot. And the same idea is again and again. If you read it again and again, then you'll remember, wow, And this tolerance is very much needed in sadhana bhakti, and then you start with sadhana bhakti, then first it's Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, you don't feel like doing it, and then after you get a taste for sadhana bhakti. And then when you get a taste, you're happy, you're peaceful, then you feel like, okay, maybe we should share it with someone also. And it's interesting that like Vaisheshika Prabhu says that Sankirtan is high-level sadhana. He puts it on the level of sadhana. That it's also important for devotees to preach. And of course, if you don't know how to preach, and many of us maybe are not the best preachers, so the easiest way to preach is to give people a book, because you don't know what to say maybe. Srila Prabhupada said, what will your 3 minutes preaching do? But if they take a book, then Srila Prabhupada will preach to them. Their life might make sense. And of course, for preaching, there's the same principle, that you first principle for book distribution, first law is that your sadhana must be strong, serious, and sincere. So of course, if you have proper sadhana, then you will feel that something is there. And people will also feel that something is there. People will look at you and they will think, okay, I don't know what he's got, but we want it. So it happens, like I was one day approaching this lady, and I was just saying hi or something, and she said, oh, because you came with such a nice smile and so happy, then I have to reciprocate. And I was like, oh, I'm smiling. I don't know. So if you do sadhana bhakti properly, then you'll be happy, and people around will see, oh, okay, these people are happy. Okay, what was this? And this is also important in Shuddha Bhakti. Chintamani Shivara Maharaj says also that it's important. Preaching is also part of sadhana. That we should also preach as part of sadhana. And also there's this. I probably told you before, this Alcoholic Anonymous. They say that if you don't preach, then you'll start drinking again. That's their experience. They have this 12-step program and this and that. And they are like, they know that if you don't engage the information you have and you don't reach out to help others, then you lose it. You'll just eventually drop. And so anyway, so yeah, I'll just stop here. Okay, there's many other things. Okay, so if there's some ideas, some corrections, some comments. You want to add something, Maharaj? Okay, some questions? Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki